Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another painting tutorial. This time I'm once again playing with the Artist Opus Dry Brush series, and we are bashing out a Sons of Horus Rhino from the new Horus Heresy game. I'm absolutely delighted with the result of this tank. I believe I've learned even more going through the process of working with the Artist Opus brushes. The first thing I learned when touching these brushes is that they are like an airbrush. A lot of people perceive the idea that you buy an airbrush and you're immediately better at painting. Same with these dry brushes. What you have to remember is this brush set is another skill. The more you use them, the more you'll learn and the better the results will be. So, you've seen my first one on the Kratos Heavy Assault tank. Now it's time for take 2 on a Rhino. Let me know what you guys think of the tank in the end of the video in the comments, and let me know if you think I've made any improvements from the first one. So stick around and enjoy the Rhino. Okay guys, back at it again on a Sons of Horus Rhino for the Horus Heresy Mark II game. And once again, working with the Artist Opus dry brushes. So we're going to start with the Lupercal Green base, which only seems right and proper to use for a Sons of Horus paint scheme. And once again, we're going to begin with that light, soft brushed stipple all over the tank, all over the armor panels of the tank. The more and more I use these dry brushes, the more and more I realize that 90% of using them is just like a stippling effect. And it gives a beautifully mottled texture to the paint. It suits tanks down to the ground. I've yet to really play around with the brushes in regards to infantry, but I am looking forward to moving on to that step and seeing what we can achieve. But already from black to this bluey color, if you were to do the traditional like brush strokes, there would be like streaks all through the paint. With this mottled effect, it seems to be a way of kind of overcoming that issue. It's a bizarre thing. I mean, look at that coat of paint after one stipple pass. I mean, it's beautiful. It's such a quick and simple job. And once you get a paint job to this kind of standard so quickly, it really pushes you forward and makes you want to do more and finish it off. So on the Sons of Horus Green, same effect as we're going to do as we did on the previous one, except we're going to leave kind of the bottom of the tank a little bit darker, just a touch, and I mean the very bottom of it, and just to simulate kind of light coming down from the top and working its way down the tank. So on the topper parts of the armor, topper parts is the way you're supposed to say that, on the top parts of the armor even, is where we're going to start the stippling and then stipple a little bit lighter as we work our way down the tank. Once again, another thing I've learned is the pressure for which you're supposed to stipple with. Like, you're not supposed to press really hard. It's just like almost like soft taps. It's one of the things that's quite hard to explain. But like I said in the intro, it's a skill. If you get these brushes and you're kind of practicing with them, the more you do, the better you'll get and the better results you'll get. Or you can see the different variation in color, how bright the blue is going after 2 quick stipple jobs. It's a weird thing to say. So I'm going to continue on and stipple the entire tank all over. This is actually a second pass with the Sons of Horus Green, just to once again brighten it up even further. Working our way through the corners. And then obviously, as we're going along, once we get to sharp edges, we can actually dry brush them a little bit as well, because the stippling is leaving behind such a little amount of paint. The dry brush actually does catch the edges and start to simulate edge highlighting. But we will be going to a slightly brighter color in a minute and doing the dry brushing on the tank, the edges, just to catch all those parts. And it will make all of those bits pop massively. And to do that, all we did was add a touch of white to the pad and mix that into the bluey greens that we've been working with so far. That's it. It just pulls up the color a tiny bit, and then all we're going to do is then go on to that traditional dry brushing, where we're just going to be aiming for the edges of the tank. So all the hinges on the tank doors and all those beautiful edges on the front half of the tank, and then running the brush along the hard edge along the top like this. Just helps to catch and define all of the different bits and pieces of the tank and really take that paint job to the next level. Like, honestly, I'd say I've been painting this tank now for less than 10 minutes. And already the main color of the tank is finished. The blue is complete. It's just time to do the detail work. once the dry brush of the white is finished, this is what the result that you're left with. This is the stage that I was talking about, where I'm shocked that I got a tank to this stage in 10 minutes. I love it so much. Now it's time to do another really fun stage, and that's to block in all the other colors to break up that main color that we've used for the majority of the tank. So we're going to go Corvus Black here, and I like painting those inner bits on the hull black just to break it up. I did it on my Imperial Fist tank, and I'm going to be doing it on my Sons of Horus tanks. I think any tank that I do moving forward, Space Marine color schemes are always usually just so much of one color, especially during the Heresy, that I think it's important that if you see opportunities to break up the main color, I think it's a good idea to take it. It will add a little bit of something special to the paint job and make it stand out just a little bit more on the tabletop. So just be a little bit careful when you're doing this. The stippling technique is a super fast thing, but I have yet to try and cover up a mistake from it yet. If I did suddenly slip and put a line of black down the middle of the armor here, I don't know how easy it would be to go back and repair that job and blend in all those colors again. So it's definitely one of those things, as you're painting, you want to be super careful what you're doing. I also realized that the flatter the panels are, the easier they're going to be to do the stippling effect and the dry brushing afterwards. So when I was getting this tank ready for painting, I left all of the exhaust stacks off. I just glued them to a base so that I could paint them separately. It's just a quick dry brush of silver all over the stacks. Like I said, it was very quick, easy job to do off the thing. Corvus Black just to paint back in the casings. The casings was another thing where I felt originally, as soon as I looked at them, okay, they should probably be the Sons of Horus Green, so I should stipple these along as I'm going. But then I was like, maybe I should use these as another opportunity to break up all of the green and add a little bit more black to it. So I decided to go in with Corvus Black. If you decide to do something differently, while they're separated like this, you could just stipple them along the same color you're doing the tank armor. Mephiston Red I used for the tips of the missiles. That is, if you decided to put the Havoc Launcher on your Rhino. The Horus Heresy Rhino has so many options to do that it's up to you whether you want to give it combi bolters or plasmas or flamers or anything. It's quite a well-armed APC compared to its 40k equivalent. Once all the black and metallics are done, by the way, while I was doing the metallics there on the stacks, I did it on the tank as well. So tank tracks, side skirts, any other bits and pieces that need to be metallic, I did it during that stage. And then we're going to Nuln Oil all those parts. We're going to add black shades, all the metallic bits, and all the bits that we've base coated with the Corvus Black. So that includes those bits on the armor panels and anything like that. The top parts, the combi bolter, it's actually just a bolter. And the Havoc Launcher with the red missiles, that also got a coat of Nuln Oil. Quick and easy shade job. And then we go back to our Iron Hand steel, or any brighter steel really, just to layer up the pipes just a small bit. So we're going to add a little bit of a layering job / highlight. We're not trying to get into all the nooks and crannies. We're going to leave those nice and dark with the black wash. As you can see, I'm not going around the backs of the pipes. I'm just going across the front, the bit that the eye is going to catch, the bit that kind of points out from the tank. The bit behind it with my head is obviously going to be covered in shadow, so not going to be that visible. Same thing with the top. It's almost like a dry brush. We have the brush side on so that as we're doing our brush strokes, it's not filling in all of those holes. We're going to leave those nice and dark. Once again, this only took 30-40 seconds to do across the 4 stacks. And the results really stand out. As you can see, there's the silver and stuff done on the tank. Black, it's been all washed. It's time to layer back up the Corvus Black. So we're going to go back to that color and just do a very quick highlight on all of the bits that we had with the Corvus Black. So those inner panels of armor. Once again, you're not trying to go crazy. You're just trying to get rid of any of the unevenness from the shade. So just come in and give it a nice flat coat, leaving the edges that Nuln Oil. Just going around the inside with the Corvus Black. Same with the exhaust stacks. I'm only doing the flat panels. I'm not going like underneath or on top or in those gaps. It's just the quick raised areas, the bits that are going to be pointing out away from the tank are going to be a little bit brighter. Hence that little bit of layering. I covered the lights in the front of the tank with a pure coat of white, and then I threw a red contrast paint over the top of those. And then when that was dry, I just went back in with a bit of silver and did the cross-hatching grating that goes over the top of the light. Nothing fancy. If you want to know what color to paint your lights, I always go with the lens color you did the Marines for the army in. Then you know the colors are going to match the tones and it's going to look all kind of uniform and part of the army. You usually picked the eye lenses because they match that. So here's the tank with all the bits and pieces glued on, a finished Rhino for the Horus Heresy. I am absolutely delighted with the result I got from this piece. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe. Drop a note in the comments if you have any questions. And I will be using this tank for a small video in the future. It'll probably drop later this week or early next week, where I show you guys how to do a little bit of battle damage, so some bullet holes in the tank maybe, and how to apply some weathering powders to this Rhino to make it stand up and jump to the next level. So stick around to see that and see the tank in its finished state. Okay guys, there we have it, one completed Sons of Horus Rhino. Like I said, I love the result I got on this paint job. I love the variation in color. It doesn't just look like flat panels. I just want to say a huge thank you to all you guys for watching my videos and supporting me and the 365 project thus far. We just passed 15,000 subscribers, so I'm super delighted with the progress so far, and I hope to continue on that journey. Speaking of continuing on that journey, if any of you guys out there are watching this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, it would mean a lot to me if you did hit that subscribe button. For all you guys who are currently subscribed to me, thank you so much for the support. And an even bigger thank you to all of those people out there who have signed up to my Patreon and help keep the lights on and the miniature paints flowing. Thank you guys so much once again, and I'll catch you in the next video.